Hi, I'm Jordan Lindsay with Montgomery Community Media. I have Aseem Nigam joining me from the Montgomery County Department of Housing and Community Affairs. We're going to be talking about landlord and tenant relations during the COVID-19 health crisis. So, Mr. Nigam, go ahead and tell me, what are some of the things that renters are facing financially during this health crisis? And have there been an increase in evictions?
We are aware of what issues that tenants are facing at this point. Just before I can answer your question, let me just give you some brief broad framework where we are. Up until now, the county has been in the response mode, but we're also in the recovery mode. So in terms of now, to answer your question, eviction and homeless prevention, we have been working with our working group, which is comprised of nonprofits, social service organizations, legal aid, for-profit entities, AOBA members included. So we approached them and we posed a question because we have been hearing, but we wanted to hear from ground zero what our landlords and other community organizations have been hearing about the issue. So what we learned was, and we did do a survey in some limited fashion, and survey included about 18,000 units. What we learned was that pre-COVID, the delinquency rate in the county was under 5%. And post-COVID, that rate has jumped to 15%. So that's a 300% increase. So obviously, when you have this kind of increase, you know that our tenants are facing difficulties in paying the rent. What we have been doing is we have been looking at the situation from different point of view. It's financial assistance and also communication. So because the rent is still due, it's not forgiven. There's no order that has come from the governor for giving the rent. And that's what we have been telling our tenants, that although the courts have been closed and those eviction cases have not been heard so far, and the courts are going to reopen on July 25th, the rent is still due. So it's good for the tenant and the landlords to communicate with each other. Good thing that we have been hearing is that the first of the cases for non-payment of rent may not be heard until August. Well, it may be good that it's not heard until end of August, but at the same time, those cases will be heard. And then those tenants who may be facing eviction because of COVID-19 related issues, those evictions may still be halted. That being said, we do not know when the emergency will be lifted. At some point, the emergency will be lifted. So we are bracing ourselves. What you heard is like tsunami of eviction, although I don't want to use that word per se, tsunami, but that's the wave is coming and we want to be prepared. So we are following multi-pronged approach in terms of financial assistance and also community outreach in terms of tenants and the landlords.